Welcome in, soccer fans, at the CQ Arena in Baltimore today. It's the Baltimore Blast against the Kansas City Comets. Paul Mittermeier and Andrew Primrose on the call here today on NBC Sports Washington. Good battle here this afternoon between two clubs fighting for playoff position. The Baltimore Blast one game behind Utica in the Eastern Division of the MASL standings at 11-6. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Comets, they can't catch Milwaukee in the Southeast Division. They're battling for the number 2 spot coming into this game at 9-8 on the year. Two great players matching up on these two teams, Vinny Dantas for the Blast and Leo Gibson, the second leading scorer in the MASL, 22 goals, 22 assists for the Kansas City Comets. And Andrew, we talk a lot about Milwaukee and Baltimore, the rivalry there, but this rivalry as well, Kansas City-Baltimore, a pretty heated one.
Absolutely. So the Missouri Comets came back to the MASL at the time the MISL in 2010, and that kind of coincided with a down period for the Milwaukee Wave a little bit, and they were getting beat by this Comets team. And then that started this great rivalry between the Comets and the Blast. 3 years in the playoffs, they met head-to-head. The Comets come into Baltimore and win their first championship, 2013, 2014. They absolutely destroy the Blast at home. Brian Harris wins the game in Baltimore and then has to do my first post-game interview. I'm in front of 9,000 fans that are booing, and then I have to interview Brian Harris. One of my favorite memories in indoor soccer. 2014-15, they met again, and this time in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Blast and Comets. Great series, the Blast prevail there. And, of course, the trilogy ended in 15 and 16, where the Blast won 2 overtime games to move on to the championship game and win their championship.
Should be a good one today. Blast and Comets will have starting lineups they kick off next for you. You're watching MASL Soccer on NBC Sports Washington.
Yeah, pull them back off. We're on for 2 minutes. Hey. It's not your fault. It's fine. But they got it.
Yes.
You want to just tell them, just make an announcement like, well, sync it up on TV? It's like, no, you do.
Yeah, baby.
No, tell Mike that you need 30 seconds to do that. Sorry, guys.
This is all us.
We'll figure. Seconds.
Welcome back to Baltimore. Blast and Comets here, MASL Soccer. Big story here in Baltimore today is for the Baltimore Blast, their starting lineup. Adriano Dos Santos in the lineup. He was serving a 2-game suspension that was reduced to a single game, so he missed the Mississauga game last time out. He's in the lineup for the Blast here this afternoon, and a big key for the Baltimore Blast. Also, alongside of Dos Santos, Vinny Dantas, Tony Donatelli, Jonathan Mello, and Mike Diesel in that starting 5. For Kansas City, James Togba on the back line, alongside Brian Perez, Kyle Williams, Leo Gibson, and John Sosa on the floor to start things. Sosa chips it into the Blast side of the field, and we are underway here in Baltimore. Gibson with a quick chip to the corner. Dos Santos makes his presence felt right away, kicks that out of play off the boards. So we're going to kick in for the Kansas City Comets.
Blast wearing the white jerseys with the American flag trim for Military Appreciation Day. Kansas City wearing the blues.
Here's Togba, marked by Diesel, steal there. Mello goes around his defender, Gibson, runs it into the corner, into the front. Shot, a goal! Vinny Dantas! And right away, the Blast take the lead, 1-0.
Well, Mello made that play happen in midfield. He had one touch to get separation, and he earned it. Burst of speed to get away from his defender, push the ball down, and you can see after he makes a nice pass through the board. The first cutter, Donatelli, doesn't touch it and leaves it for an unmarked Vinny Dantas, who is not going to miss an empty net.
Well, those two, it's a return the favor type goal because those two connected in Mississauga. It was Dantas to Mello for the game-tying goal last week and then the game-winning goal in that one. And so right away this afternoon, 22 seconds into the game, Mello returns the favor for Dantas, and he gives the Blast a 1-0 lead for Vinny Dantas, goal number 16 of the season, and for Jonathan Mello, assist number 10 on the year. It's Kansas City back on their defensive side. Gibson turns it over nearly, but Joan Pereira can't get the steal, and Palmer now will bring it out into the midfield.
What this does for the Blast getting that early lead not only helps emotionally, but helps establish this full press. And as you see, they create another turnover. Thomas unmarked in the corner, sends it across, but Hoxie unable to get it in.
Yeah, good cross by Thomas, but just out of the reach of Andrew Hoxie. Another odd man rush early on in this game for the Blast.
See the Blast, two come on, two come off. Vinny Dantas back on, and Jamie Thomas has rooms.
Nice cutback by Thomas. Good touch. Kalu loses the handle, and out come the Comets. Robert Palmer cut off, and Vanzella follows. Battle in the corner, and Palmer will get called for the pushing foul here.
Well, there's actually a blow to the head before Juwan grabbed the head.
Let's take a look at our goalkeeper matchup here today. There you see William Vanzella, 10-6, 4.29 goals against average, 725 save percentage, 177 saves on the season, and he's got 3 assists. And on the other side, Mark Saxby. Saxby 4-2 on the year, 6.42 goals against average, and a 608 save percentage. Shot to goal! Vinny Dantas, back-to-back goals in a minute, and the Blast lead at 2-0.
Wow. Oh, man. Right on cue as you talk about the goalkeeper there. You see Vinny Dantas with a turn. It doesn't matter who's in goal or if there's two guys. Nobody's touching that shot.
Oh.
It's an absolute rocket.
A left-footed missile from Dantas, and a quick timeout on the floor for Kansas City. Time to go 151. Dantas, let's talk a little bit about Vinny Dantas, Andrew, because slow start to the season, but now that is the 17th goal for Dantas in 18 games.
And you can see him getting the wrap with Heather right on the corner of your screen there as he's wearing the club arm, broken hand from a couple games ago, and it hasn't impacted him at all as the goals have come in bunches for Vinny Dantas this season.
And give the assist to Mello. So Dantas and Mello have combined on the last 4 goals for the Baltimore Blast. We talked about that game in Mississauga. The Blast actually, after Mississauga making a coaching change a couple weeks ago, their first game against the Blast were looking really good. Got out to a 3-0 lead in that game. Blast had to fight their way back, and it was Dantas and Mello in the fourth quarter that rallied the Blast from a 4-3 deficit to a 5-4 victory in that game, and they've carried that momentum over right here in the start in the first 2 minutes of this game here today.
All right, and then some interesting actions down on the field as Sosa is complaining that an elbow in the head, and Coach Kim Rentved is over in the corner, and there's just Kansas City bench beside themselves as they thought that there should have been a foul there. I think Ellis was the one that was calling for it, saying that he's blood on his forehead. Didn't see anything down here, but they're quite adamant that a foul was missed.
Well, the second trip to CQ Arena for the Kansas City Comets last year was an absolutely wild one, as the Blast won that one 15-8. William Vanzella was injured in that game. Kansas City keeper Casey Gasson was knocked unconscious, or almost unconscious in that game in the first quarter. He stayed in the game, and Vanzella exited with 20 minutes gone in that game. Pat Healy, who's now the head coach of the Harrisburg Heat, was the Blast defender, played 40 minutes in goal last year against this Kansas City team, and the Blast came away with a 15-8 win last year.
Yeah, that was an absolute all-timer. As you mentioned, not only was the injury to William Vanzella, but the Kansas City keeper early in the game was absolutely knocked out on his feet. We thought he was going to have to come out of the game as he was clearly wobbled and gave up a couple goals right away. And then regained his composure and senses, I guess, a little bit. And then minutes after that, William Vanzella went out, groin injury that ended up costing him a good chunk of his season last year. Just came back for the playoffs. Yeah, that was a wild one. And Pat Healy, you look at 8 goals and you say, okay, he didn't do that great. I think he only gave up 2 of those goals in regular play. The rest of it was 6th attacker goals.
Yeah, Kansas City was forced to go 6th attacker late in that game because they were so far behind. And they actually were able to put a couple past Healy with the 6th attacker on the floor. All right, here's Kansas City now with some organized attack, but Elton De Oliveira makes the steal as he took the ball away from Guy Gomez. And the Blast have it now. A much different start to this one. The last time we were on NBC Sports Washington, the Blast had a tough one, a 9-1 loss to Utica. It was all Utica that day, but the exact opposite start here for the Blast in this one against Kansas City.
Well, and that was a start of a tough stretch for the Blast as they lost 2 games at home. That 9-1 loss to Utica, their first home loss ever at CQ Arena. And then you saw here's some scrum along the boards there, but
one on 2 scrum from Dantas and the keeper. Finally, Saxby made the play.
And then, of course, the Blast followed that up with another home loss 2 games later. They lost to Milwaukee here at home, 4-2.
Pereira goes around 1, but forced back to the midfield. Dantas looking for the natural hat trick. Vinny already has 2 natural hat tricks this year.
We have
Kansas City players shaking up, on the field. Is that Sosa?
Like Sosa is down. Yeah, Sosa is down. It looks like he's grabbing his left knee.
Training staff out of the field for the Comets. Check on, see how severe this is. Mark Saxby, we talked about him right before the Dantas goal. Saxby, just 6 starts. Brett Petrusek was the original goalkeeper for Kansas City this year, but he's left the squad. Saxby with that 4-2 record, but that's 6.42 goals against average. Sosa's up and heavily favoring that left leg as he comes off the field.
He is flexing a little bit there, so that's a good sign.
Let's look at the replay. Now he's just, no contact. He was just trying to walk it off in the middle of the zone and couldn't do it anymore and went down. Had to be an injury that was sustained earlier in the game.
And the Blast will get a dangerous restart here.
Good spot, 2-man wall. Mello will preside here.
A lot of room for Vinny.
And instead the Blast force back. Good pressure by Gibson and a good clear by the Blast. They keep it alive.
Hoxie wide open.
Finally they get the ball down to Hoxie. Double team comes. And Hoxie tries to chip it back out over the boards. It'll be a kick in for the Kansas City Comets.
Tough break there as Andrew Hoxie got lost in the wash coming on for Vinny Dantas. And bad break for the Blast here as this ball's going to go outside the yellow line. I thought that was pretty clearly in front of the yellow line.
The restart cleared. Turnover. De Oliveira. And he gets called for the foul push in the back. Another free kick for Kansas City. Blast talked to their coaching staff before the game. They felt they could put some pressure on here against Kansas City, get some turnovers. I think we've seen that early on.
It's worked. They might know what they're talking about.
All right, Gibson now. Plays it back out, Perez. Talked about Dos Santos on the floor for the Blast today. One of the big scratches for Kansas City today, Lucas Rodriguez. He's out of the lineup today, 12 goals and 7 assists.
We're going to see a card here.
And a blue card. Get a penalty on the Comets.
Can't see a number here. Not sure.
I believe
think that means like Kevin Ellis.
Kevin Ellis is going to go to the box. Here's the replay. Yeah, Ellis goes in with 2 feet.
Now, the Blast get a bad break as the ball plays behind the yellow line. And that's important here with this small midfield.
Well, I mean, that's where the
limits,
ball was. That was the ball where the ball was cleared from.
Yeah.
Power play for the Blast. Blast power play 38% on the year. Quick shot save, or wide, I should say. Dos Santos was wide open. He missed the net.
Great feed in from Andrew Hoxie. Set Dos Santos up, and he just couldn't get it on his feet.
Dangerous play here. Works out, though. Cross. Hoxie couldn't get a foot on it. Now he does, and he puts it up into the crowd.
Almost takes out a cheerleader.
And that Blast power play has struggled, no question. And the Comets' penalty kill has been very good, 59% on the season. The Kansas City Comets special teams have been very good. They're the number one power play in the league at 65% and a very good 59% on the kill. Oh, turnover here, though. Here's Mello. Over for Dantas. Tries to cross. That's blocked away. And the Comets dodge another bullet.
Palmer with a fantastic stop there. It's Tony Donatelli's taken down. 2 points should have been awarded if it was wrestling.
Blast control. Blast have missed a couple golden opportunities here on the power play. Mello with some room. Donatelli. Back for Mello. Dos Santos. Off the boards in front. Goes through. Mello. Donatelli. Shot off of the boards and wide. Comes back out for Dos Santos. 56 left on the power play.
He beat Saxby, but unfortunately wasn't on net.
Mello now. Cuts it back for Donatelli. Touch for Dos Santos. Dantas tries to bring it through, but Palmer snares that. Dos Santos steps in and keeps the power play alive.
2 nice plays from Palmer there, isolated on Vinny Dantas, keeping him putting the ball through to Andrew Hoxie.
30 seconds left on the power play. Donatelli cuts it down. Dantas cross. Hoxie off the boards in front. Shot, goal! Jonathan Mello on the power play. And it's 3-0 Blast.
And the conductor strikes again as Andrew Hoxie finally gets the ball across, able to send it down and gets it off the boards. It's a near point to the boards, and Mello finishes it strong.
A good settle here by Hoxie, and then off the boards in front to a cutting Mello and into the back of the net. Blast are in control. 3-0 to start this one. Time of the goal, 6:52. The assist to Hoxie for Jonathan Mello, his 17th goal of the season. And for Hoxie, assist number 5 on the year. There's the Comets restart. Sosa back on the field, looks like he's okay. Ellis. Foul called here on Pereira. And that was a pretty good power play for the Blast, Andrew. Got a couple good chances. They didn't convert on and then finally knocking it home.
Well, just patience. Patience. This, as you mentioned, a very good penalty-killing team in Kansas City. So they took their time. They waited. They had chances, and they kept ball control. As William Vanzello makes an absolutely fantastic save.
Gibson with a great shot there from the corner of the box, and Vanzello slides over to make the play.
That'll be the official timeout as that ball went out of bounds.
Yeah, time on the floor. We'll take one, too. 7:43 left in the first. All Blast 3-0 over the Comets. You're watching MASL Soccer on NBC Sports Washington.
Smile.
No matter how well you provide for your family today, if you don't have life insurance, their future may be at risk. Why not help guarantee those you love $250,000 or more with life insurance through AIG Direct? Less than $14 a month buys a 40-year-old man a $250,000 term life policy. That's up to 3 times what you can get from other companies for the same price. Make the future more secure for those you love.
Call 1-800-723-8547.
No, 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 no,
Jack, can I talk to you? I think you need one of these. You're acting like a kid.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Have a blast and score big at Antwerpen Automotive. Jack is saying yes to every deal on all new and pre-owned vehicles, plus discounts up to $15,000 and no payments for 3 months. Now at all 10 Antwerpen locations.
Jack says yes.
Welcome to Baltimore. Welcome back to Baltimore. CQ Arena Blast lead 3-0. Good restart opportunity here for the Comets. Quick chip across. Header goes off the bar. Blast come out with it. Big chance there for Kansas City. Blast dodge a bullet.
Kansas City calling for a handball there, as they thought for sure John Orlando touched the ball with his hand after the deflection off the boards.
Rarely down the boards. Plays it in front. That one's knocked away. Kansas City looks to come out. And a foul here. Kyle Williams just a little too aggressive that time. Pulls down the Blast defender Raley, and it'll be a kick in for the Blast.
Took out Raley, took out Jamie Thomas as well. It was a 2-for-1 from him.
He was working hard, a little too aggressive. Blast play it back for Vanzella. MASL now has a podcast. Join host Craig Elston as he talks to players, officials, and coaches from across the league. Takes you behind the scenes of the MASL. Check out MASLsoccer.com to listen to past episodes and subscribe to the official MASL podcast. A good D in the corner. Sosa comes out with it. Plays to the far side for Ellis. That one taken away and plays all the way back. Saxby comes way out of his box, and Kansas City will set the offense.
And Paul, you talked about the Toronto or the Mississauga Blast game from last Sunday. What we haven't talked about so far was that Harrisburg Heat Kansas City game on the same day, almost at the same time, as Harrisburg went into Kansas City and gave this Heat team or this Comets team all they could handle in a 7-6 game that was quite chippy between a suddenly hot Harrisburg Heat team that's won 5 out of the last 7.
Yeah, no doubt. They are making a bid to get back in the playoff picture. Sosa gets called for the foul. Nello forced to play it back for Vanzella. Vanzella plays it to the corner. It's knocked away. Kansas City tries to come out with it. Good ball. Flores goes around Dos Santos.
You saw Sosa there on your screen, back in. Doesn't look worse for the wear after his knee injury earlier.
Good turn by Ramon Palmer, but that's knocked away. And Mello right there defensively in the box to clear it away. Oh, nice deflection in front. Flores, another save by Vanzella, another save by Vanzella. Dos Santos clears. Good job by Kansas City to keep it alive. Back heel by Dos Santos. Quick shot by Palmer, sweeps wide. Mello on the near corner. Dribbles out of trouble. And they blast clear for Dantas. Diesel keeps it alive. Diesel fights
Nice
through the
pass.
double team. Good room, time and space for Dos Santos. Adriano turns, gets taken down. Foul called here on the Comets on Robert Palmer. Restart for the Blast inside the three-point arc.
Great job by Adriano to earn that foul, putting his body in that position.
They'll step off the wall. Referee says they're good. Mello presides two-man wall for Kansas City. Dantas to the corner. Donatelli crosses in between Dos Santos and Di Oliveiro.
He had 2 options. Both of them would have been goals, and he went the third option in between them.
Give and go, shot wide. Dantas just missed there. Great give and go that time by the Blast. Dantas looks like he's shaking up.
Yeah, his hand is killing him right now as he came down hard on that hand, and that's a pain management issue at this point. He's not going to hurt it anymore. Obviously, it's in a cast, but tough to deal with that pain.
Still by the Blast. Here comes Dos Santos. Good job getting back by Togba there to break it up. Blast keep it alive. Donatelli scores! Great feed from Hoxie to Donatelli. It's 4-0 Blast.
Well, you mentioned a great feed there. Andrew Hoxie doing a really good job early on here with these quick distribution passes. He set it up down the boards, came back along to him as we see on the replay, and then just a great pass all the way across the field, finds Donatelli unmarked.
You know, that's a nice job by Donatelli, too, to fan out towards the top of the box to give himself some more space and was able to finish it into the corner of the net.
Absolutely. Young fan reaches for the T-shirt and he misses it. It's now up on the side there.
Donatelli from Hoxie, 10:25 the time of the goal. And the Blast have come out here tonight firing on all cylinders. Foul here on the Blast. Hoxie takes down Saxby.
Well, that was very similar to what Dos Santos just did to Kansas City. He put himself in a position where he was going to get fouled one way or the other and make the official make the call. Good play by Saxby.
Gibson to the corner. Ellis. Walks by Pereira down there. Hoxie comes to help. Sosa. Far side Gibson. Header off the boards in front. Kalu clears. Still loose. And finally Vanzella pounces on it. Williams had a shot, but he just couldn't quite handle it. Ball deflected off of Kansas City out of play. Should be a corner or close to it. It is. Two-man wall for Kansas City. Perez and Gibson. Once again, Mello will preside. Mello directing traffic now.
Well, Kalu's going to come over top as Dantas and Juan run around.
Dantas scores! Vinny Dantas with the left foot. It's the hat trick, and the Blast lead at 5-0.
I don't even know what to say about that. That was in the back of the net. Watch the keeper's reaction here, and just watch how he looks back up.
No, he's got no chance.
He's looking around. What just happened? That ball hit the back of the net before we saw Vinny Dantas strike it. Wow, what a rocket.
Time to go, 11:04.
How many hat tricks is that for him on the season, Paul?
That's his third.
That's at least, I was going to say, and 3 at home.
Dantas' 18th goal of the year. And right now, it's all Blast. Gibson's drive is knocked up in the air. Vanzella hauls it in and finds Thomas streaking down the Kansas City offensive side, but a nice job by the Comets defensively to recover there.
And the Blast again set up in the high pressure. Might be 5-0, but they're not letting their foot off the gas.
No, not at all. You can't do that here. Saxby with some pressure from Dos Santos. Nearly turns it over again. Good battle by Ellis against Donatelli to win it. There's Ramon Palmer. Works on Thomas, and Vanzella the parry over the glass. Corner kick for Kansas City.
That's his 4th excellent save. It easily could have been 4 goals there for this Kansas City offense.
Take a look again as Vanzella gets the right arm up and knocks it over the glass.
You can see from that angle, that ball had a fair amount of curve to it.
Shot off of the crossbar, comes high, and good save by Gibson. And then he flicks it into the Kansas City bench. And a kick in for the Blast. Now, Andrew, today, you see the jerseys for the Blast, the white jerseys. It's Military Appreciation Day. These uniforms will be auctioned off here at the arena. Great cause.
Not sure I can see how, or not sure how clearly you can see them on the broadcast, but the American sleeves, American flag sleeves, and of course the Maryland flag trim, but then on the front, the image of the Marines at Iwo Jima raising the flag on the front. Absolutely fantastic uniforms. Several things going on here tonight. Education is a Blast day. And then we'll hear at halftime from Coach David Bascom as it's Bascom Football Leadership Academy day here as well. You'll notice on the shots when we go to the cheerleaders, they're wearing jerseys representing the Bascom Leadership Academy. And we'll talk a little more with David Bascom about what that means.
Kansas City with the possession. This is Robert Palmer now to the corner. Nice cross for Gibson. Run down by Togba on the far side. Togba with the left foot that's blocked by Mello. We're going to call this a defensive clearance. I'm not sure I agree with this call.
Yeah, they're going to move it from a. Yeah, they're going to call it a legal procedure and bring it to the top of the arc.
I'm not sure. You know, this is always a gray area here. Mello did not direct that ball. He just blocked the shot.
It was a deflection.
But it'll be top of the arc opportunity here for Kansas City. Sosa presides. Dangerous team on these. Sosa a drive, and Vanzella kicks that out. So he got over through the wall, but Vanzella, the last line, made the save. And then Ellis with a nifty left-footed shot to score, and Kansas City's on the board.
Well, you saw William come off his line after making the big save there. He goes out isolated with Ellis, and you'll see him come all the way out outside of his box. Loses on the deke, goes down. Dos Santos tried to fill the goal, but couldn't.
That's a great move by Ellis that time to create spaces. Vanzella cut the angle down. He actually played it back towards the middle and then finished with the left foot. Time to goal, 13:09. For Ellis's 5th goal of the season.
And we'll see if Kansas City can capitalize on some of this momentum. They had sustained pressure. Possession, rather.
Kalu had a chance, but it taken away. Ramon Palmer, marked by Thomas, finally clears it back. And let's see. Foul called here on Robert Palmer. Free kick blast. Give the assist on that Ellis goal to James Togba. Togba's 6th assist of the year.
And Palmer's got 3 now. So something we'll have to keep an eye on here.
That's Ramon Palmer, or Robert Palmer, right?
Robert Palmer.
Here's Ramon. Shot blocked. See, what's the difference between that and what Mello did? Right? That's a block.
Well, it's a discretion call, and we disagreed with the discretion.
Adam Jones, his first time on the floor for Kansas City. Here's Ellis with the ball in his foot again. Double teamed. Ellis goes around Donatelli, and he shoots it up into the netting above the goal. Goalkeeper distribution for William Vanzella.
Blast will make wholesale changes as John Orlando goes to the point position. Mello and Juan Pereira take the midfield.
Vanzella fires it down the field. John Orlando on the field for the first time for the Blast. Foul called here on Mello. Blast going in 2s today, but they're sprinkling in some of their other players alongside of that. So John Orlando getting his first run late in this first quarter.
And so, Paul, explain what going in 2s means.
Well, when you're changing and you're shifting your lines, you know, a lot of times with 14 players on your roster, you'll run through 3 guys in each position. But instead today, instead of changing twice, having 3 players play the same position, the Blast going and only making that 1 change and playing with 2 players instead of 3 at a position. And when you have a small field like you do here in Baltimore, you can do that a little bit easier because there's less running involved.
And so that's resulted in seeing, like at the point position, Andrew Hoxie and Vinny Dantas switching off, and
Correct.
More minutes for both of them, which is
correct.
Paid dividends offensively.
And here's the thing, you know, the one thing about that, it's a smaller field plays a factor, but also your players have to be disciplined, and you can't stay out too long. Mello, shot and a goal! Orlando scores off the pass from Mello, and it's 6-1 Blast.
Great answer from the Blast as Kansas City got a little momentum and scored a good goal. But John Orlando says not today, is Jonathan Mello with a great pass all the way across, and Orlando with a one-touch finish. What looked like wasn't going to be called at first, but then was called.
Looks like it tucked right inside the crossbar there, just underneath. Jonathan Mello with his 4th assist, and the Blast lead at 6-1.
Perez not happy at all. He's got to be very careful. He's not going to pick up a yellow card here. Is he just?
Time to go 14:48. John Orlando's 6th goal of the year. And the horn sounds, end of the first quarter. All Blast in that first quarter. Vinny Dantas with the hat trick. Jonathan Mello with 4 assists for the Blast. Blast lead it after 1 quarter of play 6-1. Back after the break on NBC Sports Washington.
The story is changing. The words ever evolving. Bolder, braver. We are architects of opportunity, and what we're building is more than buildings. It's pride. College is capable of being more, and every day we're proving it. Welcome to the new TU.
My name is Blair Underwood. 3 years ago, I started taking Omega XL as a part of my daily healthy lifestyle routine. It's changed my life. I'm here to share my knowledge about this amazing supplement. Omega XL is a natural omega-3 product that is very effective at reducing pain due to inflammation. I rarely endorse any product, but Omega XL is different because it works.
Omega XL is effective at relieving pain and the symptoms of inflammation, including swelling, daily aches and pains, back pain, and swollen joints.
Oh, I'm not weighed down by the burden of pain. It's changed my life. Omega XL, it works.
Start taking this product and you're going to be really happy with the results.
When you're in pain, that's all you can think of.
Omega XL offers a 90-day money-back guarantee from the date of your first order. Call now and you'll receive a bottle of Omega XL absolutely free with your first order.
You don't have to accept living a life with pain.
Call now or visit us on the web.
Welcome back to Baltimore. All Blast 6-1 over the Comets after the first quarter of play. Outside of being on the team, the best way to know what's happening in the MASL is to tune in to Kick This. Every weekend, Soccer Sam discusses the ins and outs of all the MASL action. Find Kick This every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on iHeartRadio.
And how about Soccer Sam and his newly reborn Rochester Lancers clinching a playoff berth in the MASL 2? Last night, as we look to get back in here.
All right, first quarter stats. Comets actually outshot the Blast 10-7. Big story this game so far, 7 saves for William Vanzella.
And 5 of them world class. He's had some fantastic saves.
Blast start things here in the second quarter. Dos Santos forced back. Elton. And back for Vanzella. Good pressure by Kansas City. Donatelli lets it go through. Robert Palmer runs it down in the corner. Blast keep it alive down there, and finally, Comets clear. Good ball for Ellis. Ellis time and space. Shot just wide. Dos Santos is clear, is blocked by Gibson. Elton's ball around the boards is stolen. Gibson in front. Jones can't
Handball.
finish. Handball. And a goal. Leo Gibson with a great finish there. Thought for sure they would call that a handball. Instead, Gibson fights through and puts it into the back of the net. Here's the replay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that got him on the arm, but nice job by Gibson. Just keep playing there, and he gets rewarded with his 23rd goal of the season.
Okay. Well, either way.
So Kansas City answers in the second quarter, 55 seconds in. We'll see if they can build on that momentum.
Well, this is an all too familiar pattern for the Blast as they got away from in the first quarter. But it goes back to the Blast just trading goals. Too often content with they get offensive breakthrough, They score a goal, and then they give one up.
Well, this a little different today, Andrew, when you put 6 in the back of the net.
Well, it helps break it up, but it's something that they are looking to address.
Good steal by Kalu. Kalu down the wing. Shot off the post and in! Oh my! Kalu with the goal. It's 7-2 Blast.
I think everybody was expecting the pass to go across to Andrew Hoxie, who was coming down the middle unmarked. And then Kalu rips a rocket here as he creates a lot of separation. Look at him get away, creating 3 steps, and then just absolutely buries it. As Pereira was in the middle marked, and Hoxie was just to the left there, unmarked. I think everybody thought it was going to be a pass, and Kalu finished it.
3rd goal of the season for the rookie for the Blast. The Blast answer back. Time to go 1:33. So just 38 seconds after Kansas City scores, the Blast respond. What a save off of the Gibson header by Vanzella.
I thought they just scored again.
Good ball to the corner for Dantas. Vinny heads it past the double team, but Kansas City able to clear. Gibson back heels it up onto the banner. Kick in for the Blast. What a strike by Kalu. I mean, you can't place it any better. Off of the corner of the post and in.
It's an impossible line. The only place you beat the goalkeeper and the only place you hit the goal is that 1 foot space. And to do that on a full sprint with a guy 1 foot behind you in your pocket, that's just a special play. And you can see why the Blast really like that young player and have given him a lot of minutes. Danny Kelly's been very open about the fact that he's given a lot of minutes to guys that probably aren't ready yet. And you're seeing it start to pay off here as Kalu finishes his 3rd goal with a surgical strike. There's not many guys in the league that can do that.
Dantas picks up the foul as he knocked Kyle Williams to the ground. Free kick for Kansas City. Williams with a touch far side.
I wouldn't want to get shoved by Vinny in a regular time, but you put that club on his hand.
Well, we saw him leave. That's the challenge for Vinny. It's not about injury, it's about pain tolerance.
Right.
We saw him go down pretty hard on the floor with that cast, but bounced right back up and got the hat trick. Well, chance now off the turnover. Gibson off of Mello into the back of the net. Leo Gibson, his 2nd goal in the last 2 minutes, and Kansas City back on the board.
Here's the turnover, sends it back across, and William Vanzella has to go out, cut the angle off. He's beat Mello in position, but unfortunately deflects it into the back of the net, and now the Blast will call a timeout here to regroup.
Yeah, Blast called a TO. Leo Gibson with his 24th goal of the year. And Andrew Primrose, we have ourselves an old-fashioned shootout right now.
It's, there's no 6th attacker for 40 minutes here, but the score looks like it's going to be close to the same time it was this time last year when we had 2 hurt goalies. So it's been fun, and yeah, you got to give credit to Kansas City here. They haven't packed it in. They're still out there playing. They're still pushing, and they've scored 3 goals here in this quarter. You said it before. On this field, you can't give it up.
Well, we've talked about this is the 2nd season here in Towson for the Blast at CQ Arena, the smaller field, and we've gone through so many games where you see a lot of action, and there's 2 or 3 or 4 goals scored in the first 40, 25, 30 minutes of the game, and you're just sitting there scratching your head going, how can this not be more goals in this game with the way this field is designed? And I think we're getting an old-fashioned one here with this field size, with both teams being able to finish here today.
Well, I think, that's a function of the Blast style of play, too. I think they could definitely play that, that 15 to 16, type games every game. But I think Danny Kelly and David Bascom are very clear about playing a team-first defense. And you're starting to see other teams in the league emulate that style and realize that goals are great, but defense wins championships.
Saxby distributes. Ball up to the corner. Vanzella, clearly grabbed the ball outside of the box. Wasn't even close. And the Comets will go on the power play.
I believe they'll get the shootout, too.
Big mistake there by William Vanzella.
And he's going to say he was pushed from behind. I agree with you. I think he was reaching before he was pushed. Yeah.
So shootout here for Kansas City. Short will be Gibson. Gibson is unable to score. The Comets will go on the 2-minute power play. Williams pleading his case with the officials, pleading his case with Leo Gibson.
Blast still haven't put anybody in to serve the penalty yet.
And still, it looks like, Andrew, you're going to serve the penalty evidently.
I guess so.
Gibson shoots and scores. Gibson off of the shootout, puts it off the corner of the post, and all of a sudden we have a 7-4 game as Leo Gibson has the natural hat trick for the Kansas City Comets.
Well, Paul, you called it early in the game. You said the matchup of these two premium offensive players, and both of them with hat tricks, and we're not even 4 minutes into the second quarter. There's not much you can do in that situation. Gibson's not going to miss very often in that situation. Vanzella cut the angle as much as he could, but Gibson too good in that situation. And look at this. Smitty said, I can do it too.
He almost scored off of the restart. I thought he almost caught Kansas City napping.
Well, that was something they had to see on film, or they were waiting an opportunity there, as that was pretty clearly coordinated that they knew exactly what they were doing there.
Jones has it stolen away. Dos Santos misses Dantas, and Kansas City has possession. So the Comets have come out here in the second quarter, much like the Blast did in the first. Good answer here from Kansas City to start the second quarter.
4 goals to the Blast, 2, and they're back into it. And what this also has done is broken the Blast pressure as well. The Blast unable to create that high pressure, and that's thrown off the Blast game plan. So, you know, finishing opportunities changes the game. Changes the flow of the game, the way the Blast want to play, and they're not in their style right now.
Togba for Palmer. Here's Gibson again. Good ball for Jones. Back for Leo. Turns, shoots off the Hall of Fame banner. Goalkeeper distribution for William Vanzella.
You know what that shot was? That was a heat check.
It was heat check, yeah.
That was 100% a heat check. He's throwing him up. He was going to see where it was going to land. He just turned and fired now. When you're feeling it, sometimes you just let him rip.
Pressure now from Kansas City. Palmer with the steal. Pereira steps in. Raley steps in and takes it back. Thomas down the wing, pushed, foul called here. Williams picked up the foul.
See the replay here as Thomas has a run.
It's just
There's a foul, but
silly
not,
foul by Williams. That's number 2, right?
Yep.
You already talked about Robert Palmer having 3, right?
And he is back out there and taking some time off, but he's out there with 3.
Hoxie, far side, Raley. Off the boards in front, Thomas. I'll tell you right now, Kansas City is struggling. Almost put it into their own net. Steal by Elton. Elton can't settle, and he puts it into the net. Kansas City is really struggling with their box defense. They just cannot stay with their runners, and you know they've kind of given the Blast numerous opportunities there, and also on turnovers. Saxby that time gave it away, and if Elton can get any kind of shot off there, it's in the back of the net. There's Gibson again. And, you know, one of the things, you know, obviously Leo Gibson with his speed is limited with what he can do on the small field, but the other thing he can do is stay down with on the field for long shifts. Ellis comes up limping. Vanzella blocks this one and distributes through the middle for Mello. Ellis steals it. Gibson back for Ellis, shot and a goal! Wow! Kevin Ellis on the board again. It's 7-5.
Ellis having coming out party here tonight. He creates the turnover, give and go with Gibson, and a beautiful finish with his head. as William Vanzella came off the line not expecting that shot. Great play by Ellis, and here we are. It's a 2-goal game, 5-0 to 7-5.
Time to go 5:21. Give Leo Gibson the assist, his 23rd assist. Dantas. Shot blocked. Thomas keeps it alive.
Thought that easily could have been called a foul there.
That's exactly why you can't keep or take your foot off the gas. It was 7-1 Blast. Well, check that, it was 7-2 Blast. Kansas City has scored 3 goals in just over 2 minutes. Got themselves right back in this one. Let's see if the Blast can answer now. Well, we mentioned it. Last time, 23 goals scored between these two clubs. We're well on our way to that today. Here's Kalu. Dantas, quick chip for Thomas. Ball swept away. Saxby keeps it alive.
Still struggling so much with his distributions back there.
It is not pretty to watch, that's for sure.
Another turnover.
This one gets away. Good back heel by Dantas. Blast finally have some possession time, really for the first time in this quarter.
That'll enable a sub as the Blast get 5 new players on.
Thomas gives it away. That's a terrible pass. Here's Ellis again. Ellis off the crossbar, off the boards, settled by Gomez.
Vanzella got fingertips on that, but he was beaten, and if that ball dipped a little bit more, it would have been a 7-6 game.
Well, one of the key things for the Blast in the second quarter have been some awful turnovers in the midfield. On this field, if you turn the ball over in the midfield, you're asking for trouble. And Kansas City has taken advantage. Diesel gathers in the distribution from Vanzella.
One of the things you like to see from Diesel there is to stretch that run up. Instead of run right to the sideline there, have him push it up a little bit, get a little more depth. There's no place he could go with that ball once he got the ball.
It wasn't a great distribution. He was forced to kind of
round it off.
Yeah, round it off on that side. Good play here in the box. Finally, Comets make a play in their defensive side. Here's Hoxie now.
Donatelli unmarked down low. They can find him as they're playing a box and one.
Shot by Mello, that's blocked. Hoxie steals. Mello keeps it alive. Sosa takes him to the ground. Dos Santos steps in. 50-50 ball punched away by Saxby. Diesel heads it back for Vanzella, and everything will reset.
That's a pretty good matchup with the goalie allowed to use his hand and sticking it up, and Hoxie using his head. That's about the same height.
Pereira now tries to go down in the middle. That's knocked away by Ellis. Ellis having himself a second quarter here. Ramon Palmer. Double team. Thomas runs him off. Dos Santos follows.
Triple teamed.
Vanzella in trouble. Ball taken away, and Palmer's drive goes just high. Ellis spills Pereira in the corner. Foul on Kansas City. Free kick for the Blast. Saxby plays it to the middle for Jones. Bad pass here. Good recovery by Flores. Sosa for Gibson, he comes off. Jones, the target. Gibson shot right into the hands of Vanzella. Quick distribution. Thomas, too far. Saxby clears. Gibson loses the possession. Foul called here on Thomas. Free kick, Kansas City. Gibson off the corner board. Kalu has it defensively in his own end, and it's off the top of the boards, break there, and comes back into play. Bad play here by Saxby. Here's Orlando. Tries to cross. Good block by Palmer. Palmer, dangerous play there, playing with 3 fouls. Quick touch by Donatelli. Orlando back for Donatelli. Mello's drive is deflected by Orlando over the mesh and out of play. Timeout on the floor will take one, too. 5:38 left in the second quarter. Blast 7, Comets 5. Back with more on NBC Sports, Washington.
No, 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 no.
Jack, can I talk to you? I think you need one of these. You're acting like a kid.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Have a blast and score big at Antwerpen Automotive. Jack is saying yes to every deal on all new and pre-owned vehicles. Plus discounts up to $15,000 and no payments for 3 months. Now at all 10 Antwerpen locations.
Jack says yes!
Welcome back to CQ Arena. Blast leads 7-5 after the Blast outscored Kansas City 6-1 in the first quarter. Kansas City outscoring the Blast 4-1 here in the second quarter. A good one here as we play with 5.5 left in the half. Here's Saxby. Crosses the yellow line, chips to the corner, and miscommunication down there between Williams and Gibson. And Williams ended up heading it over the glass. Free kick for the Blast. Defensive third. Chip towards the midfield over Hoxie's head in a three-line violation.
It was a three-line violation. I was looking to see if they were going to call as Andrew Hoxie was pulled down by his jersey. That's why I was unable to get up for the head ball. But not called, and now a restart from the yellow line for Kansas City.
This will be Sosa. Ellis. Ooh. Quick touch in the corner of the box goes wide. Almost a goal that time for Flores for Kansas City.
Beautiful little setup piece there.
Ball to the corner. Donatelli clears. Hoxie battles. Rayleigh can't win it. Kansas City sets up shop against Sosa. A good ball here for Gibson. Quick touch. Really chests it down for Vanzella. Vanzella distributes to really much better one here.
There we go,
Jeremy,
exactly.
shot, goes wide into the mesh. Goalkeeper distribution for the Comets.
And that's exactly what it does. Get him moving forward. Get him towards goal. Don't put it towards the bench.
Yeah, much better that time by Williams. Here's Saxby now. Throws it all the way down the floor right to Vanzella.
They're playing catch now?
Now Vanzella back into the corner for Dos Santos. Good ball here. Tough break, it hits the official. And Pereira, though, battles for it and wins it.
Blast will reset.
Pereira with some time and space. Pereira goes around his defender. Off the boards in front, Dos Santos. That's blocked away by Saxby. Again, he comes off the official.
Rob's getting his touches today.
Good footwork, and Ramon Palmer comes out. Palmer with some space. Good D by Mello to cut him off. Couldn't get a shot off. Sends it back. Robert Palmer now. Togba. Leo Gibson back on the floor for the Comets.
Little surprised with how many minutes Palmer has played in the second quarter, playing with that 3 fouls.
Togba off the boards. Good clear there by Pereira.
Coach obviously trusting his veteran player to stay out there this long.
Gibson runs it down in the corner. Blast steal. Dantas on the floor. Vinny, made a nice turn, but couldn't bring the ball with him. Same thing happens. 3-on-2. Perez shot, save, rebound, score. Guess who? Leo Gibson with number 4, and it's a 7-6 game. Another turnover for the Blast in the midfield. Time of the goal, 11:41. Right now, the crowd quiet here in Baltimore. Give the assist to Brian Perez, his 10th of the season.
Not a happy Blast bench right now, as you could imagine.
Nice job by Kansas City to get back in this game. It's a 1-goal game. Kansas City has not led. Blast put them on their heels with 3 straight in the first quarter. Hoxie heads it to the corner, and it goes off the boards out of play. This is the exact opposite of what we saw in the quarter number 1. Kansas City dominating here in the second.
Well, the Blast just haven't been able to get shots on goal. That's been the difference. It's Kansas City's controlled pace and tempo.
Williams turns, and Vanzella gobbles that up. Well, some mistakes for the Blast. Vanzella playing the ball outside the box. Blast with some turnovers in the midfield. Dantas off the boards to himself. That's taken away. Gibson, who already has 4, has it stolen. Kalu now settles things for the Blast. We'll see how things play out the last 2 minutes. We went 6 minutes without a goal after Kansas City had scored those 3 straight.
And if you're Baltimore, you just have to stem the tide a little bit. You survive the onslaught and get one more going to half, up 2. That would be huge.
Dantas has it taken away by Sosa. Diesel back for Vanzella. Dos Santos. Good pressure here by Kansas City. They have 3 players in the Blast end. Good turn. Thomas taken down. Foul called here.
And Nacho, that's the third time he's done that, putting a forearm in the back of somebody's head. He's getting into it with Mike Diesel, and that, frankly, should have been a 2-minute penalty. He put his forearm right into the back of his head and took him down.
Well, when you put 3 pressure defenders in the offensive side of the floor, if the team can clear it, it turns into an odd man rush, and that's how you stop it. You just commit a foul.
I think, foul is one thing. I think what he did there is egregious, and I think, it's a point of emphasis in the league not to allow blows to the head, which that clearly was.
Dantas off the boards in front. Good D by Kansas City. They've really cleaned up the defensive side here in the second quarter in the box.
3-line pass.
3 lines with 1:12 left in the half. Blast will have the restart at the yellow line. An action-packed first half here in Baltimore.
2-line violation, Kansas City, free kick Blast.
It'll be Mello who will preside. Huge first quarter from Mello if you're just joining us. Jonathan with 4 assists in that first quarter. 2-man wall. Dos Santos scores!
There's 5.
Adriano Dos Santos gives the Blast a 2-goal lead, and as you mentioned, Andrew, 5th assist of the day for Mello.
5 assists for Jonathan Mello. Right on cue is a beautiful feed over, and Dos Santos buries it in the top. Kansas City bench is arguing vociferously that was not a 3-line pass, which set up the opportunity for the Blast. It looked like it hit to me, but
13:50. Time of the Blast goal. Blast up 8-6.
that was a massive goal for the Blast to get some momentum heading back into the locker room at halftime, but one more here, or even just not giving up a goal.
I'm gonna ask Steve Cook to look this up, but I'm pretty sure this is the most goals ever scored in the first half at CQ Arena. Roxy plays it forward. It's kept alive by Mello.
Might not be done yet.
Donatelli, that goes off of Perez. It'll be a kick in for the Blast. Yeah, plenty of time left. 49 seconds left in the half. Blast will restart outside of the yellow line. It's going to be Mello again. Mello for second call on the Blast, so turnover to Kansas City. It's a big play there. See, I just don't understand. If you're in doubt, just drive the ball down the boards.
He overthanked it too much. He was talking with the official because he didn't feel like the wall was marked off appropriately. The defender standing there solely was marked off appropriately, and the official disagreed and said carry on. And I agree with you, Paul. When you hear 3, you just got to run.
Oh, here's a good chance at a score. Big goal at the end of the half, and how about that swing? Blast called for 4 seconds. The Comets get it back and score to make it a 1-goal game with just 26 seconds left. Wow. Time to go 14:34. Off the rebound. He missed the first time, but Togba right there on the rebound.
It's a 1-goal game again. So here we are again, the Blast trading goals.
Togba's 14th goal of the season.
Still plenty of time left here for the Blast to get a scoring opportunity.
Ramon Palmer gets the assist. 15 goals in this half from these two teams.
Oh.
Kalu loses the handle, and Williams has it rattle off his head.
He got hit hard in the face with that ball. That was a loud sound. Good stoppage by the official to step in there.
They're going to check on him. Here's the replay.
Watch this ball get blasted right in his...
It
was before that. It was before that. That ball didn't. It wasn't that. It was before that happened. If you rewind it a little bit, but he took it right off the side of the head. That one came on his side afterwards, but it was before that. He took it hard off the side of his face.
I'm going to say drop ball. Kansas City's arguing that it should be their ball.
Yeah, both sides arguing.
Well, in a 1-goal game with 11 seconds left in the half, it's big. It's a big drop ball. Hoxie gets called for the foul here. Now here's Robert Palmer. Drives it down the boards. Dos Santos to the corner. 23, that's Flores with the foul. 1 second, the Blast will run it out. And that'll do it. What a first half of play. 15 goals. The Blast owned quarter number 1, a 6-1 lead early. But Kansas City right back in the second quarter. They respond. And they outscore the Blast 6-2. In that second quarter, it all adds up to 15 goals and an 8-7 Blast lead at the half. Vinny Dantas with the hat trick in the first quarter for the Blast, and Leo Gibson responded as he picked up 4 goals for Kansas City in that second quarter of play. 8-7 at the half. Whew. High-scoring affair here in Baltimore through one half of play. Let's go down to the field now as standing by Andrew Primrose has Blast assistant coach David Bascom. Andrew?
All right, David, the tale of 2 quarters there. In the first quarter, you guys got off to a fantastic start. We've talked several times at halftime about the offense get going. Your offense was moving. What was working for you so well offensively in the first quarter?
In the first quarter, you know, when you put up those goals, it means we was pressing. But the thing is that we was patient on offense. Yeah, we was doing what we know how to do. And the frustrating part of then after that, it's a mental shift. There we go, mental shift a game, right? We always talk about this, right? So once that happens, you have to stay tuned in. You have to stay consistent. You cannot give up the things, that made you successful.
And so that's what you saw from the team in the second quarter as they got away from the things that made them successful. That's what you looked at for the Kansas City comeback?
Exactly. Kansas is a team. They want you to go up and down the field. Yeah, we have to continue to control the tempo. If we don't control the tempo and allow Kansas City to control the tempo up and down, we're going to be in trouble. They forced us to make mistakes. We couldn't execute correctly, and then we wasn't doing the things that got successful. When there's a mindset shift, there's like a communicating. There's like a movement. So we have to make sure we get back in tune.
All right, so before I send you back to the locker room, this is a special day for you personally as well. In the midst of this game, the Bascom Futsal Leadership Academy here today. We saw the cheerleaders wearing the shirts. Tell people what that means to you.
Yeah, it's basically we're trying to help change the norm, right? We're trying to change the norm of the game. It's not just about young people coming here to play the game. We want to make sure we get them to understand the culture, understand leadership, and the importance of academics and how it affects 21st century game. So can they deal with complex situations? So it's awesome. We had 100+, young people, so it's been good.
So you're doing fantastic things. If people want to get involved, they want to learn more about the Bascom Futsal Leadership Academy, how do they get involved?
Yeah, so the best thing to do is just go to info@bflacademy.com.
All right, they can send emails there. And fantastic. David, thank you for doing fantastic things, not only for the youth here in Baltimore, but back in your hometown as well.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Back to you, Paul.
All right, Blast leading 8-7 over the Comets at the half. We'll come back with halftime after the break. You're watching MASL Soccer on NBC Sports Washington.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our mission and passion for 100 years, and will be for 100 more. We help protect Maryland workers because
at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
Stop living with hair loss, that is. Losing your hair is no fun, and no one wants to be bald, but there is hope.
Getting my hair back was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm happy with the way I look now.
I'm very excited about my hair.
I feel beautiful.
I love my hair.
Hair Club offers all proven hair loss solutions backed by our commitment to satisfaction guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied with the solution you choose, Hair Club will apply the purchase price to another proven hair loss solution or transplant more hair at no charge.
That was the best thing I've ever done.
It looks good on me.
Call in the next 5 minutes to get your free brochure at no obligation. It will tell you everything you need to know about your hair loss problem, and it's free if you call now.
I am more pleased than what I had even imagined.
I at least look, I would say, 5 years younger.
I'm 52, and I look better now than I did when I was in my 40s.
I feel great.
And that's not all. The first 100 people who call will also receive $250 off any hair loss solution from Hair Club. Call now.
Now welcome back to the CQ Arena. An offensive explosion in the first half as the Blast lead the Kansas City Comets 8-7 at the half. Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams. Make sure you are following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter. Let's take a look as we go around the league. Let's take a look at the MASL Plays of the Week.
Welcome to the MASL Plays of the Week. Here's the best of the action from Week 14.
No, 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 no.
Jack, can I talk to you? I think you need one of these. You're acting like a kid.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Have a blast and score big at Antwerp Automotive. Jack is saying yes to every deal on all new and pre-owned vehicles. Plus discounts up to $15,000 and no payments for 3 months. Now at all 10 Antwerpen locations.
Jack says yes!
Do your best, work hard, and you can achieve anything.
Education is the most important thing. Pay attention in class and respect your teachers.
And welcome back to CQ Arena in Baltimore. If you're just joining us, you missed a lot already. Blast lead the Comets 8-7 at the half. Hat trick for Vinny Dantas for the Blast in the first quarter. Leo Gibson with 4 goals for Kansas City in the second quarter. Sit back, relax, and watch the second half after the break. You're watching MASL Soccer on NBC Sports Washington.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our mission and passion for 100 years, and will be for 100 more. We help protect Maryland workers because
at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
My name is Blair Underwood. 3 years ago, I started taking Omega XL as a part of my daily healthy lifestyle routine. It's changed my life. I'm here to share my knowledge about this amazing supplement. Omega XL is a natural omega-3 product that is very effective at reducing pain due to inflammation. I rarely endorse any product, but Omega XL is different because it works.
Omega XL is effective at relieving pain and the symptoms of inflammation, including swelling, daily aches and pains, back pain, and swollen joints.
Oh, I'm not weighed down by the burden of pain. It's changed my life. Omega XL, it works.
Start taking this product and you're going to be really happy with the results.
When you're in pain, that's all you can think of.
Omega XL offers a 90-day money-back guarantee from the date of your first order. Call now and you'll receive a bottle of Omega XL absolutely free with your first order.
You don't have to accept living a life with pain.
Call now or visit us on the web.
When it comes to getting back in the game, there's only one team to turn to. The team more high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports Medicine.
Is IRS debt affecting you and your family? If you received a wage garnishment notice, a bank levy, or have unfiled taxes, or if you have an existing IRS debt of $10,000 or more, you need to make the call.
I made the call, and Paramount gave me peace of mind.
Paramount Tax Relief. We're here when it counts the most.
I made the call.
I made the call.
We made the call.
For a free consultation, make the call today.
Welcome back to CQ Arena. Let's go down to Andrew Primrose, who caught up with Kansas City Comets coach Kim Renfed.
Well, I
out
got
of the locker room. Go ahead, Andrew.
Got the chance to talk with Coach, and obviously he liked what he saw from his team in the second quarter there. He mentioned the fact that playing on the small field here, he had tried to express the speed that his players would see the game here. He said he thought that they didn't fully appreciate it, but now that they're into it and they understand, he expects to see a good second half.
And we'll see how that plays out. Blast, since moving here to Towson, a few weeks ago gave up the most goals ever. Back on February 8th, Utica City came here and scored 9. And then the two next biggest goal tallies are owned by the Kansas City Comets. Comets lost to the Blast 15-8 here last year, and they put 7 home in the first half here this afternoon. Here we go. Kansas City will start. Perez far side to Ramon. Palmer off the corner of the boards into the hands of Vanzella.
A little funny is William Vanzella has spent every time out the journey to and from the locker rooms at halftime discussing with the officials that handball that was called against him. Still contesting it. Won't let it go. Feels strongly that he was pushed out of the box.
That was a turning point in the game. Kansas City was rallying. They had cut it to 7-3, and then that shootout got it to 7-4 and kept the momentum going for the Comets. Blast clear. Robert Palmer runs it down in the corner. Sosa back for Palmer. Gibson now. Far side for Kyle Williams.
Blast fans are hoping Gibson cooled down in the locker room a little bit.
Whew. Tallied 4 in that second quarter.
So, I mean, we have in this game, we have a guy that has 5 assists, we have a guy with 4 goals, and then we have another guy with a hat trick in a quarter.
Well, the 4 goals in one quarter as well for Leo Gibson.
Yeah, all 4 in the second quarter. You're absolutely right.
Mello turns. Marco Nascimento on the field. We didn't see much of him in the first half.
As a matter of fact, I think that was his first shift there.
Back heel by Dos Santos, a poor pass there, and out come the Comets. One of those things that plagued the Blast in the second quarter. The sloppy play there as Dos Santos turned it over.
That'll be 3 lines.
3-line violation as the ball cleared both yellows. So an error by the Comets. So we'll allow the Blast to restart at the yellow. Last time they did this, Dos Santos scored. That was the last ball. That was the last Blast goal. Dos Santos set up in the far corner.
Juwan's got a lot of room.
3-man wall, Mello. Touch, Nascimento. Good save by Saxby. Only his 3rd save of the game. First half stats. Kansas City out shooting the Blast 20-12. Vanzella made 11 saves for the Blast. As I mentioned, Saxby just 2 saves, and now things unraveling in front of the benches. Referee restoring order. Andrew, what happened here?
Well, it was a punch was thrown into Diesel's face. He got punched in the face. It was a clear takedown, and then there was a punch. Yeah, that was absolute. It was a clear punch. Now the goalies meet in midfield.
Both teams sent to their benches.
Talk.
Yeah, we're going to see what the officials call here.
Should be a blue, yeah. That's a good call.
Here's the replay. Well, that's more of an elbow than a punch.
If I retaliated, you wouldn't be standing up. What you want him to do? No, me wake him up. Let a man get up and punch the guy in the face. Why they have this? See what? See what? Move yourself.
You can hear David Bascom on the bench yelling at the Comets. Are we going to get coincidental minors here?
Well, they're going to get, offsetting penalties here as Diesel was sent for retaliating after he was punched. So we'll see 4v4 soccer. Wow.
We'll see if Jones picks up a suspension here for the punch. I'm sure that'll be ruled on later this week. Drop ball, and the ball squirts to the midfield, and it's run down by Togba in the far side. Ellis had a big second quarter. Manzella off his line to play it. Good play by Pereira, drags it around the defender. Pereira, far side, Mello shot, save by Saxby. He stepped up big time here in this third quarter. 2 big saves to start it, and now Mello dragged down in the corner.
Well, and the other foul that wasn't called is Ellis took down Juan Pereira behind the ball. Just, again, a takedown. I mentioned that Harrisburg game against Kansas City last week and how chippy that got. And it is equaled here as the Blast unhappy with losing a big lead and the physical play of Kansas City not making things any better.
4-on-4 soccer. Really makes a run into the Kansas City offensive zone. Back heel by Mello for Pereira. Juwan goes around Flores. Double team comes, and he's able to move it. Gibson can't clear. Mello steals. Melo's taken down. Foul here on Flores. It's got to be at least the fourth foul on Flores, right?
In the last 30 seconds.
1:14 left on the matching minors. Pereira fakes the shot. Drops it back for Raley. Now Jamie Thomas on the floor. Blast change.
Blast have done a nice job of maintaining possession through all this, but haven't turned it into a scoring opportunity.
Play it back for Vanzella. Vanzella pressured, plays it to the corner. Flores battles with Raley. Raley wins it. Flores takes Raley down. Another foul on Flores. The sixth foul rule has to be close to in play with Flores here.
That was his fourth, actually. I guess he only had two.
Two in the first, two here quickly in the second half. Donatelli presides here, one-man wall. Some strange restarts. Ball deflected out of play off of who? We're going to say off of Jamie Thomas. Goalkeeper distribution or no?
They still haven't ruled. The Blasters stand down.
Now this is corner. I'm going to say off of.
Yep, now they're marking it. Yep.
Kansas City, so this will be a chance for Kansas City. They get fresh legs on the floor. Palmer and Williams on. And we'll do this again. Now a two-man wall, as Kansas City saw that was a near scoring opportunity, so they had to change the wall up. Donatelli. Dos Santos just misses wide. Close to where he scored late in the first half. Ellis goes around Dos Santos. Met by Donatelli, and now Saxby comes forward. Really struggling with his feet. Ramon Palmer down the wing, tackled away. Thomas works hard and sweeps it clear. 10 seconds left on the matching minors. Now Kansas City with possession. Here's Robert Palmer. Sosa far side. And the penalty is about to expire. Gibson chests it to the corner. Runs it down there and plays it back.
Diesel and James are going to be matched up, and that'll be a fun one to watch as those two got into it and didn't stop talking the whole time they were in the bench.
Jones steals, shoots off the bar wide. It's still loose in front of the blast clear. Donatelli runs it down, chips it across for Thomas far side. Jamie, nice play there to settle. Sosa punches him in the back, and Thomas is down. Foul called here on Sosa, I believe. That was a pretty vicious shot from behind by Sosa.
Let's see here as it comes down. I thought he got kicked here. Yeah, he just
right
chopped him down on the side.
Right in the back of the leg.
Nice save by the official there as that almost hit Diesel on the head.
That does not feel good.
Well, he's up and moving.
Restart for the Blast. Elton's drive, that's blocked by Gibson.
Speaking of things that don't feel good, Gibson took that one in the chest.
Nice job by Leo there playing D. Ball for Elton goes wide, fielded by Palmer. Back heel stolen away momentarily by Pereira, but regathered by the Comets. Pushing foul call here on the Blast.
How do you push a guy that's laying on the ground?
Pushing foul on the last number 26, Hilton D. Oliveira.
Okay.
Restart for the Comets just outside the three-point arc.
I wonder if that was called when he went down and then they allowed continuation there. I'm not really sure.
Possible. Ball into the netting, so it'll be a goalkeeper distribution for William Vanzella. 5 minutes into the third quarter, no goals. It's a different theme.
Every time we think we have it figured out.
Yeah, I know, right? Nascimento with time and space. His left-footed shot blocked. Good step in by Pereira. Halted the Ellis run. Nascimento, Donatelli. Touch to the corner for Dantas, Vinny uses the body to win the ball. Double team comes, fires it back out. Nascimento, touch Rayleigh with some room. Rayleigh shot, deflected off the post and wide. Oh, Donatelli that close to making it a 9-7 game.
How did that not go in?
I have no idea.
They had the whole net.
Great feed by Rayleigh, though.
Kansas City now going with the high pressure.
Kalu with a good battle, wins it. He's off to the races. Kalu shot, save, goes by the foot of Dantas. Mello follows up. That's into the crowd.
And that'll be
that
top of the
has
arc.
to be defensive clearance.
That's the exact same.
Oh, wow. That ball was directed into the crowd. Off the boards for Donatelli. Dantas turns, shoots, and scores. The extra touch, the difference, and Vinny Dantas gives the Blast a 2-goal lead.
Vinny Dantas with a beautiful, watch this move where he draws the ball back. He could have shot it here as he gets the ball with his left foot, brings it across to his right foot, and you think he's going to go wide side there with the right foot, but instead he directs it back to the near side, tipped up the goalkeeper completely. Just beautiful ball control from Vinny Dantas. 4 goals from the Blast offensive leader.
Goal number 19 on the season for the Blast forward. Time of the goal, 6:05. Give the assist to Tony Donatelli.
Mello didn't get it?
We'll
I just assumed he'd get him. Well, I think Mello just automatically gets him. No?
Nah, I think it's good D here. Rayleigh heads it out of the box. One touch by Gibson. Cleared by Dos Santos into the crowd.
That was a big momentum swing for the Blasteers. They've controlled possession in the second half, but hadn't been able to punch one through. The offsetting 4 penalties in the 4v4 all that time with no goal, but finally break through and get the first goal of the second half and take a 2-goal lead again and a chance to catch their breath.
Ball deflected back towards Vanzella.
Saxby way off his line. Not sure what he was doing all the way out there. He's now exposed.
Well,
Santos.
He actually tried to read that play, a foul called here. He tried to read the play because Thomas was by himself. Kansas City had sold out. They had no one back marking Jamie Thomas in the defensive end with their pressure through the offensive and midfield. And so Saxby had no choice. If he didn't come out there, Thomas was basically going to settle there and be one-on-one with the keeper.
Either way, the Blast with a dangerous restart opportunity. Del Oliviero at the top of the yellow line lurking. Dos Santos on the far side.
Shoots. Blocked. Dos Santos to the corner. Rayleigh. Dangerous play there. As Saxby almost came out of the box with the ball. He had to let it go. Fans thought it should have been called for a handball.
I mean, pretty clearly was out of the box there. The same as William was pretty clearly out before.
This one chested back by Sosa. Saxby with a quick flick into the midfield for Leo Gibson.
And see, that's one of those things where William Vanzella obviously plays with the passion and the enthusiasm. But William upset about the lack of call, as I said, and this ball will be out of bounds, and that'll be the official timeout.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take it to Blast with the only goal of the third quarter. 7:23 left in the third. Blast lead at 9-7. Back with more on NBC Sports Washington.
Remember, kids, don't be a bully, make a difference, be a friend.
And welcome back to CQ Arena. Blast lead 9-7 midway through the third. Goalkeeper distribution for William Vanzella. Plays to the corner for Dantas. Pushed off by Palmer. Ball chested into the midfield. Nascimento runs it down for the Blast. Off of...
My nose.
Off of...
It'll go off Kansas City.
Yeah. Adam James. Ball loose in the corner. Comes through the turn, and Saxby fields it. Corner of the box.
Why is the clock? I guess consideration from the official there is he didn't start the 4 seconds for a while there.
Oh, ball hits the corner of the post. Comes back out.
That guy Ellis has a great release, doesn't he?
That close to being a one-goal game.
As good as Palmer's been for them, Ellis has been fantastic as well. 2 goals so far, and easily could have had a third there.
Saxby leaves it. Williams back for Robert Palmer.
That's 3 lines.
3-line mistake there by Palmer. Blast have had some good opportunities off of these situations today.
1 go so far. Another good scoring chance. We'll see what they can do here with Melo, Nascimento, and Dantas behind the ball.
Touch back for Dantas. Shot. Oh, big save by Saxby. I was watching Vinny in warm-ups, and he was actually just drilling the ball from that spot into the back of the net. Another strike there that was well meant. Saxby had to be right on the ball.
Bad first touch from Pereira there dooms him, but he fights back to win it.
Called for the foul. Ellis will restart for Kansas City. James and Diesel come together.
James and Diesel, yep.
There's Kalu, he's got 1 goal today. Down the wing, shot blocked. Good play by Ellis, gets a good bounce off the boards.
He's played a great defensive game as well. Couple big stops.
Melo's got some time and room in the midfield. Drops it for Kalu, he wanted to change. Kalu sweeps it to the corner for Pereira. Juwan goes through the double team, but it ricochets into the hands of Saxby. Blast needed a change. Saxby gives it away again. Good recovery by Togba. Foul called here on Rayleigh. I'll tell you what, the Blast just aren't getting their money's worth on the fouls, are they, Andrew?
They're not, that's for sure. Kansas City's earning every one of them. And Baltimore, you want to see increase in some intensity a little bit. It's dangerous play. Can't be finished. Look at that.
Yeah, Flores could knock it home. And on the counter, the Blast had a quick 2-on-1, but they couldn't connect.
And just like that, it turns into a 3-on-2.
Flores turns, saved by Vanzella. Here come the Blast again.
Now 3-on-3.
Here's Elton. Oh, can't get it loose. Rebound is kicked away by Kansas City. Ball still loose. Rayleigh settles things down. Back for Dos Santos. Wow, end-to-end action here in the third quarter.
He's got plenty of room.
Melo, time and space. Into the offensive end. Off the boards in front, Sosa clears. And all the way back for Vanzella.
You need some oxygen up there?
Yeah, a little bit. Good stuff. End-to-end action here.
This is where our missing third man hurts us. Don't have anybody to step in for you.
Here's Hoxie. Double team, spins around it. Hoxie to the middle, that's blocked. Ramon Palmer double teamed. Hoxie wins it back, and the Blast retain possession. 3:50 left in the third, 9-7 Blast. 1 goal scored here in the third quarter.
15 goals in the first half, 1 in the third quarter. That makes sense.
Well, the highest scoring first half ever here at CQ Arena. Diesel gets called for 2 minutes as he hauls Flores down. And Kansas City back on the power play. Here's the replay. Lost the handle off the boards, and then Flores went down. And Mike Diesel heads to the box for the second time today. Comets already 1 for 1 on the power play off of the Leo Gomez shootout. Time of the penalty 11:23.
I think going into this game, if I'm not mistaken, Mike hadn't been in the penalty box yet this year, at least not at home.
So Blast have their hands full here with the #1 power play in the MASL. Came in at 65%, goes up after the first goal of the game. 1 for 1 today on the power play. Near steal. Gibson able to control and run down by Sosa along the far boards.
Inches away from being a 3-line violation and taking some clock.
Ellis. We've got Gibson set up in the middle of that box. Chip for Ellis, heads it into the box, and Vanzella snags that down. He'll waste as much time as he can and then distributes all the way down into the Comets side. Mello flips it to himself in the box. Good job by the Comets to get back defensively. Dos Santos steps in on Gibson. Good play there. And Ellis is forced back. Sosa now will settle things down. 50 left on the penalty to Diesel.
Good job by the Blast there. That turnover ran almost 30 seconds off.
Now Sosa just drills it into the back of the net from behind the yellow line on the power play. We're back to a 1-goal game. Wow. John Sosa with his 9th goal of the year. Look at this. An absolute missile. Whew. Up under the bar.
If you're Tony Donatelli there, you got to come out and force that issue. Giving him that much space and room, that leaves William in no man's land. And Mike Diesel's going to go right back out there, and he's got to control his emotions. Stay under control after picking up 2 penalties, and obviously very upset with the officiating right now.
Time of the goal, 12:38. Perez gets the assist. And a big answer on the power play for Kansas City. Dantas run off by Palmer. Saxby corrals it. Under 2 to play, third quarter, 1-goal game. Again, the Comets have not led the entire game. Blast took a 6-1 first quarter lead. Kansas City's been fighting back ever since. Ball cleared to the midfield. Ellis now finally gets it for Palmer. Palmer to the middle, quick turn, and ball blocked there. Neat play by Diesel defensively to block it into the crowd. Corner kick here for the Comets with 1:30 left in the quarter.
Great hockey barrel roll there by Mike Diesel to throw his body in front of the shot. Ellis and Sosa in a line with Perez. This is a dangerous opportunity.
We'll put the Blast, you see that little hash mark there on the field. That's where the ball sets up on the corner. Ellis drives it into the netting. And a Vanzella goalkeeper distribution for the Blast. Vanzella fires it upfield for Hoxie. Andrew turns. It's loose, and Saxby has to sprawl and make the play as he gave up a juicy rebound, but Tony Donatelli couldn't get on it.
Fitting music right now as you hear Rocky playing in the background.
Gomez has his pass knocked away. Donatelli down the boards. Still has it. Flores goes down, no call. Donatelli still battling and finally cleared. Under a minute to play here, third quarter. And a Cemento for Mello.
Blast to look for that last shot.
Raley far side. Raley cuts it to the corner. Thomas shoots, comes through, and Donatelli was late to the back post. That's a chip in if Donatelli could have got there. Hoxie steps in. Foul called on Hoxie. Flores goes down. Flores tried to draw the 2-minute penalty there. Sosa restarts. Back for Saxby. They play it to the middle. Shot here. Vanzella with the save on Perez. 15 seconds left in the quarter.
Still plenty of time.
Pereira heads it to the near corner, I should say. Flores. Ball deflected. O'Reilly runs it down. Back heel. Ball comes loose. And that'll do it. The horn sounds. End of the third quarter. Both teams exchange goals. In the third, still a 1-goal Blast lead after 3 quarters to play, 9-8 Blast. Back with the fourth quarter after the break. You're watching MASL Soccer on NBC Sports Washington.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our mission and passion for 100 years, and will be for 100 more. We help protect Maryland workers because
at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
Is your credit card debt driving you batty? We're going up! Just like your credit card fees and interest rates.
Always fear, the debt suckers are here.
One call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your back. Consolidated Credit will lower your interest rates, consolidate your bills into one easy payment, and get you out of debt fast. Call Consolidated Credit and get your life back.
Call 800-207-4423. That's 800-207-4423.
Nothing feels better than when my Megabank treats me like a number!
Fed up by poor Megabank service? Life's better when you seek you. With a smile. With a friend. Any way you need. And wherever life takes you. So, do you seek you?
Welcome back to CQ Arena. Blast lead 9-8 after 3 quarters of play. The Blast would like to thank Miter USA for providing today's match balls. Miter, founded in Huddersfield, England, is among the world's oldest sporting goods brands, starting production in 1817. Miter, a proud sponsor of Major Arena Soccer League, providing arena-specific match balls to both the MASL and MASL2. Great performance by the Blast cheerleaders at the end of the third quarter. Of course, the cheerleaders wearing the Bascom Football Leadership Academy jerseys here today. David Bascom with some great work, getting ready to launch his academy here in Baltimore. And exciting things to come. Blast, win it. Here's Dantas now, down the wing. Vinny tries to elude 2 defenders, but stripped away by Robert Palmer. 4-on-3 for Kansas City. A shot off the bar. Flores missed that one. Palmer again with the follow, and Kansas City with all kind of pressure here to start the fourth.
Flurry there from Kansas City to start as Vinny Dantas had a run and had some space, looking to pick up his 5th turnover, and just like that, it was a shorthanded opportunity.
Oh,
and here
turnover. Ellis gives it away. Pereira didn't see Mike Diesel, who was wide open on the far side. Steal here by James to the middle. Good play by Kalu to keep it alive. He goes down. Foul called on Adam James.
On Kansas City's number 6, Adam James. Free kick Blast.
Free kick for the Blast. Blast nursing a 1-goal lead after at one time leading this one 6-1. Kudos to the Comets for rallying in that second quarter and getting back into the game.
Interesting little shift here is Adriano Dos Santos returning to the post position, that point forward position that he did so well with the last home game here against Utica.
We talked about that. Here's Donatelli. Lita Chantarette, who does the games with us here, talked about how impressive he looked up top. Really wins the ball, comes out with it. Run down by Gomez from behind, but keeps possession.
What Adriano did so well was have the offense flow through him. It's almost like a post player in basketball in that he wasn't making the turns, but he was distributing so well with his back to the ball. As you see, he sends one back. And it's a nice change up here, and I like the move from Coach Kelly and Bascom here to make that change in the fourth quarter and switch it up a little bit.
Nascimento, far side for Dos Santos. Originally, Adriano was going to serve a 2-game suspension, but it was reduced to 1, which allowed him to suit up here today.
I think it was a good decision by the league there.
Another dangerous pass by the Blast. Raley goes around Gibson, but the double team comes and there's another steal. Blast turn it over again in the midfield. Williams with a drive that goes wide. Blast dodged a bullet there. Santos plays it for Pereira. Raley backs it up, and Manzella now. Good left-footed ball under the midfield. Dos Santos will settle things down. 2.5 gone, fourth quarter. Blast still lead by a goal. Changes for the Blast. Dantas and Mello come on. Remember, it was Dantas and Mello the first 2 goals. Dantas from Mello. Oh, in front. Oh, and Pereira can't put the header home. I'll mark that one down.
Yep. A 1-goal game, as hard fought as this has been, those are the opportunities you just have to capitalize on.
Well, good D by Kalu there as he out-battled Williams for the ball.
Early pressure from Kansas City.
Oh, good ball here. Donatelli 2-on-1 with Dantas. Vinny, shot, save, rebound, turns, shoots, off, deflected in. Well, we'll see who gets the goal. It's going to probably be Dantas. I'm not sure if it deflected off of...
It deflected off a Comets player, but it was definitely Dantas' shot that drove it in.
An amazing save by Saxby to begin with. Here's the replay. And then look at Dantas, the presence of mind again, drags it back, and then off the Comets, off 2 defenders, and finally into the back of the net. Vinny Dantas with goal number 5. And it gives the Blast a 2-goal lead. Goal number 20 for Dantas on the season. Flores now pressured by Thomas.
11 of his 20 games coming in 3 games. Or 11 of his 20 goals coming in 3 games. They're coming in bunches.
Gibson. Ball played out by Thomas. Run down by Flores.
Well, and here we are, Paul. They score. They're up 2. They're going to go up 3 and go on a run like they did in the first quarter. Or are they just going to do what they continue to do all year, trade goals?
A mistake by Saxby, and again another turnover by the Blast. Here's Gibson. Shot, saved by Vanzella. Flores drags it back, shoots. That's blocked. Rebound. Vanzella gets back to knock it away. It went wide, and Vanzella got a hand on it. Ellis again. His drive blocked. Has it again. He shoots into the mesh. And it'll be a goal distribution for William Vanzella. He fires up the crowd. Oh,
I need a break.
Blast dodged a huge bullet there.
This is incredible soccer. Saxby went down there. I'm not sure what happened there.
I think the turf monster got him. Comes at you fast here, Andrew.
Yeah,
You know it better than anybody else standing down there on the sidelines. Oh, dangerous play here. Dos Santos with the steal. Dos Santos
look at
chips
that ball.
it. Far corner from Mello. Good work by Togby to get back defensively. Now the Comets come out 3-on-3.
Didn't work out for him. What a beautiful thought from Adriano with that outside right foot trying to send it across and get a scoring opportunity.
Massive humanity in front of the Kansas City bench. And I think we'll get a drop ball here. As it was Dos Santos and Pereira came flying through for the blast. Drop ball, and Dos Santos will kick it back for Saxby. Under 10 to play in the game. Blast with a 2-goal lead. Donatelli for Dos Santos. Adriano gets by the double team. Off the boards in front. Shot blocked. Rebound. Mello has it. Diesel with a drive. That's a save by Saxby. And the ball cleared to the corner by the Comets.
Fantastic save by Saxby. I'm not sure I even saw that ball was coming.
Ball off Gibson into the corner. James runs it down against Nascimento. Donatelli clears.
Paul, can we go back to that drop ball for a second? What happened there? I'm still not real sure, but it looked like Dos Santos just conceded it.
He did.
And then just sent it back down, like saying we didn't earn that.
Oh, he just played the ball
back to the keeper
as a courtesy. Yep.
Yeah. Not sure if I'd seen that.
Bends out with a Thomas. Sosa knocks him down. Gathers the ball in the corner. Here come the Comets again. Oh, what a game. Sosa across the yellow line. Bad pass here. Pereira can't settle, though. Palmer, his drive. That's blocked away by Dantas. See, Vinny plays D2. Palmer now. Tries to go around Pereira. Good speed, but Jawan matches him. Ball across the turn, and now the other way. Here's Jawan on the run into the offensive side. Williams, nice slick move off the boards there. Williams pushes Pereira to the ground and comes out with it. Here's Gibson. Blast, good job following the runners. Togba, turns, shoots, that's wide. Almost bent it back in. Kalu matched up with Ramon Palmer. Ball gets away. Saxby plays it midway through the fourth quarter. Ellis now on Dantas. See Vinny keeping that hand behind his back. Broke that hand a couple weeks ago.
Now, if he touches it with a cast, is it still a handball?
Yes. Saxby with a good ball here. Flores, blaster changing to the corner. Gibson deflected in and a goal. A bad change there for the Blast as Palmer scores. Ramon Palmer on the deflection from Gibson. Here, take a look. Great feet in front and a Chester into the goal by Palmer. Time out on the floor, 7:18 left. Blast still lead it 10-9 over the Comets. Back with more on NBC Sports Washington. I'll go back to CQ Arena. It's a one-goal game again as the Blast lead Kansas City 10-9.
That could be the title of this highlight film for this year. It's a one-goal game again.
It's a one-goal game again. 7 minutes to play. Kansas City with possession.
Guess a four-peat doesn't come easy. Blast having lost more games so far this year than they have in the last several seasons at the end of the season.
Well, the competition has improved. Utica City having an outstanding season on the top of the Eastern Division standings.
Playing Harrisburg today, which, by the way, look at that Harrisburg squad. Pat Hewley getting a young group of guys together, and that playing well on track. And even, as you mentioned, Mississauga struggling as an expansion team, replaced their GM and their head coach in the middle of the season, and had their best effort against Baltimore up in Mississauga, a 5-4 game that they gave the Blast everything they could handle. So a lot of competition up and down. You talked about the standings in the Southeastern Conference. St. Louis coming off a terrible season in the playoff hunts, fighting with Kansas City. Florida Tropics right there. Orlando.
Blast have possession.
Quality of soccer in this league has improved tremendously the last couple years, top to bottom. And while we'll probably see some of the same teams or most of the same teams in the playoffs that we did, it was not a cakewalk.
Well, the playoffs have been close the last few years. We talked about the Missouri/Kansas City Blast matchups, the games in Mexico, of course, the games against Syracuse that went overtime, the Blast winning the one championship where every game, it seemed, went overtime.
Well, and then, I mean, realistically, Milwaukee gave Baltimore everything they could handle in that game here last year. If that game's in Milwaukee, it might be a different story.
Blast ragging some time now as Manzella plays it forward for Raley. Raley with a run down the wing. Raley in the front for Kalu. That ball goes wide.
I think he tipped up and hit himself in the head with a shot.
Dos Santos now. Stefan Stokic on the field for one of the first times today. I think it's the first time I've seen Stokic all day.
He's had a couple sips here in the second half. He had been wearing a knee brace earlier and taking it off now, which is interesting.
We start here for the Blast. Mello. Play it back for Kalu. Raley far side. Back for Mello, under 5 to play. Blast nursing a one-goal lead.
Of course, what it does when you put Adriano Dos Santos up at that forward position, it takes away one of your best defenders. And so now you see Mello back on that back line.
Manzella chips to the offensive end. Saxby gets to the corner of the box to make that play, and the Blast give up possession with 4.5 to play. Really, and talk about sixth attacker in this league. Really, Kansas City has plenty of time here. They don't have to worry about that for another couple minutes.
Yeah, I'd say under 2 minutes is when you start to think about it, and you play it by possession. Make sure that you have the ball.
Gibson down the boards in front. Sosa couldn't redirect there. We'll check that was Perez. Good ball off the boards by Manzella. 4 players in the Baltimore end for Missouri or Kansas City. Now got Blast come out. Here's Diesel. Diesel on a drive. That goes wide. It hits the official again. And a break for Kansas City there. High into the corner. Thomas runs it down there. Forced off by the Comets. Palmer. Back heel by Thomas. Can't clear. A foul called here on Ramon Palmer as he ran into Manzella. This should be a goalkeeper distribution for the Blast with 3:36 left. What a game. Action-packed, exciting. It's about as good as it gets here in this league. Dos Santos heads it on goal. Saxby with a quick outlet. There's Ramon Palmer. Gibson gets a good look. Touches one over the goal. 3:21 left. Andrew, it almost, doesn't this game deserve overtime?
Yes. My heart doesn't, though. Yeah, this has been absolutely fun. What a great environment. I mean, it's a packed house. You can see in the stands. Mostly full here. Great turnout. You can see all the Bascom Foundation white T-shirts up in the upper deck.
Yeah, Dantas Chestis out of play. A lot going on. Obviously, Bascom Football Leadership Academy Day, Military Appreciation Day. They swore in some new recruits to the Army at halftime. Great crowd, great atmosphere. It's a great place here in Towson, CQ Arena. You haven't had a chance yet to come up to Baltimore and check it out, you should. Ball chipped, and that goes over the bar. Well, break for the Blast there. 3 minutes to play. That's as fast as it can happen. That was wide by Palmer, and Vanzella recovers with the save.
So Mello chipped it over Vanzella's head, almost scored an own goal to equalize it. Then the ball bounced down. It almost trickled past Vanzella for the tying goal. And instead, the Blast get possession and still have a one-goal lead.
Elton struggles to get out. Ramon
turnover
Palmer
there.
steals. Chance here, shot blocked by 2 Blast players. Ramon Palmer gathers it back in, 2:20 left. Ellis had himself a great day here. Big time second quarter to get Kansas City back in it now.
Sixth
Sixth attacker on. Yeah, there you go.
It'll be Sosa at the 2-minute mark.
2:10 left. Perez shut off. This is just like a power play, the #1 power play in the league. 6-on-5. The last 2 minutes. They're 2 for 2 today on the power play. Ball deflected. Vanzella's got a shot at the empty net, and it's wide. William, 3rd time in the last 2 games he's had a shot there, and he couldn't put it home.
Well, remember last game he started out wide left, and then his next opportunity went wide right.
Gibson shot blocked.
So we'll see if he can dial it in the middle if he gets another chance here.
There's Ellis again. Ellis, quick toe poke, and this time Vanzella won't take a shot. I
They're
think
going
Williams
to
going to call timeout here. It was a couple games ago. Last game on NBC Sports Washington, remember, Andrew Coughlin for Utica scored 2 goals against the 6th attacker for the Blast.
9-1 game. And
9-1 game, yeah.
It was interesting to watch the reaction of the Blast seeing that happen. I mean, there's not much you can do there in that situation. You're in the 6th attacker, and if you're the net, if you're in the net there, and they're going to give you an empty net, you got to throw it in. I mean, I don't blame Coughlin at all, but I think we talked about it. That's got to be, if not the only time, one of the only times a goalie scored 2 goals in one game.
Well, the rule change has brought that about. Of course, it used to be where you couldn't throw or kick the ball over 3 lines, but the rule relaxed this year for goalkeepers to be able to throw over 3, which has really opened that opportunity up, and especially here in this small arena.
Well, I mean, it really was a great rule change by the league because, I mean, it made it virtually impossible to play on this field without being able to distribute throws. I mean, it was affecting the play, and they did a good job to adjust it. And it was a smart rule change, and it's opened up the flow of the game here quite a bit.
And there's some of the numbers in this game. Leo Gibson with 6 points, 5 goals. Actually, I think he's got 7. He's got, Leo's got 4 goals and 2 assists, so he's got 6 points. Jonathan Mello with 6 points. Mello with 5 assists. 1 goal and 5 assists. Mello now with 14 assists and 5 goals for Mello in the last 3 games. Of course, Vinny Dantas 5 goals for the Blast here today. 10-9 Blast lead, 1:25 left. Goalkeeper distribution for William Vanzella.
William with his pat. Yeah.
Take a break.
Heather came over to point at us as you see William doing what he does.
Laser down the field. And Blast control here. Can they rag some time? Steal back by Kansas City. Sosa, the 6th attacker, chips it into the midfield. And
1 minute.
With 1 minute to play, here come the Comets. Sosa scored from here. Togba back for Sosa. I gotta figure that Sosa's gonna pull the trigger here at some point. Sosa chips to the far side. Ellis. Togba off the boards in front. Directed wide.
Well, I mean, if you're Kansas City, you got plenty of time, you got plenty of room, and you got guys that can get snap shots off. So Don't have to force it. Look for the right opportunity. Doesn't matter if you score with 20 seconds left or with 2, as long as you score.
The ball to the corner. In front, that's blocked away. Ball still loose. Battle for in the box. Van Zella covers up. 17 seconds to play. Van Zella distributes. 10 seconds left. It's going to be a challenge here for the Comets. Now the whistle blows, and a yellow is given to Jeremy Raley. Well, what happened behind the play there, Andrew?
Well, Raley and Sosa got into it behind, and I don't know what he earned the yellow. I know he was talking quite a bit, but it was Perez and Raley got into it, and now Raley's going to come off.
Well, the big thing here is where does the ball go?
I mean, the ball should stay where it was.
I mean, the ball has to come back.
Yeah, the ball will be placed where it was. Yeah,
And that's huge.
Right. Well, that is correct. It should be behind, and it's behind the yellow line.
Now, I believe somehow, some way, 0.8 seconds just ran off the clock. There's the replay of Van Zella's throw. Kansas City should be forced to restart back by their goal, correct?
They're going to say 10.2 on the clock.
And they're going to walk it back. Because the whistle blew for the penalty. The whistle blew as the ball was in the Kansas City side. So here we go. Kansas City has 10 seconds. There's no manpower advantage. We're still 5-on-5. Raley in the box for 5 minutes.
Well, I don't think he'll stay there for 5.
Well, that'll carry over if Kansas City ties it.
There you go.
Three-line violation by
Three-line.
Gibson. Mistake there by Leo Gibson. And that may do it if the Blast can rag this last 5 seconds. Well, outstanding effort by Kansas City today. They fell behind 6-1 to start, battled their way back into this one. But it looks like they'll come up just short. Blast can just play the ball back here.
And they should. Good job by Ellis to recognize that and get behind.
Well, four corners here. Blast need to spread the field out. And then really they can play the ball into the corner for Dos Santos, who can smother it there. That's what they're going to do. And Dos Santos will hold it. 2 seconds, 1 second, and that'll do it. The Blast hold on. And when we say hold on, that's what it means. 10-9 victory over Kansas City. The Blast moved to 12-6 on the year. Kansas City falls to an even 500, 9-9. We'll take a timeout when we come back from the break. We'll hear from the Blast and Comets. You're watching MASL Soccer on NBC Sports Washington.
No, 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 no.
Jack, can I talk to you? I think you need one of these. You're acting like a kid.
Yes, yes, yes.
Have a blast and score big at Antwerpen Automotive. Jack is saying yes to every deal on all new and pre-owned vehicles. Plus discounts up to $15,000 and no payments for 3 months. Now at all 10 Antwerpen locations.
Jack says yes.
Every day, all across Maryland, we help employers keep workers safe from accidents and injuries. We're Chesapeake Employers Insurance Company. At Chesapeake Employers, workers' compensation insurance and workplace safety have been our mission and passion for 100 years, and will be for 100 more. We help protect Maryland workers because
at the end of every workday, someone's waiting for your safe return.
Connect with your local agent or visit us online.
Smile. No matter how well you provide for your family today, if you don't have life insurance, their future may be at risk. Why not help guarantee those you love $250,000 or more with life insurance through AIG Direct? Less than $14 a month buys a 40-year-old man a $250,000 term life policy. That's up to 3 times what you can get from other companies for the same price. Make the future more secure for those you love.
Call 1-800-723-8547.
Welcome back to CQ Arena. Blast win at 10-9. Andrew Primrose down in the field. Andrew.
Down here with Leo Gibson. And Leo, not the outcome you wanted, but an amazing individual effort. What was working for you so well offensively today?
Well, I think at some point we started clicking, you know. We started really slowly, and eventually when we got our feet on us, we were able to connect, and it just made things easy for us to find the net.
This is your second time playing on this small field and this small thing. You seem to enjoy it a little bit. 5 goals tonight. Tell me what it means to play on a field like this, on this size field.
It's difficult. It's not easy, you know, but we train for it. We work on just about everything, our technical ability, tactical stuff too. But, you know, like I said, the way we started kind of put us way behind, and that's what made it difficult. It's not the field.
So now you guys have, in the midst of the playoff push here, you guys trying to get in, get that second seed, and get that rivalry renewed with Milwaukee. What do you guys need to do to make the playoffs in the rest of the season?
Well, I think we just need to be consistent, you know. Defensively, we need to continue to be disciplined, just doing the little things correctly on a regular basis. I think that will help us maintain that second spot, and, you know, anything can happen in the playoffs.
All right, well, congratulations on the great individual effort. Sorry it wasn't the outcome you wanted. Good luck with the rest of your season.
Thanks, man.
All right, Andrew Primrose with Leo Gibson, as Gibson with 6 points, 5 goals, and an assist today. Let's go back down to Andrew, who's standing by with Vinny Dantas. Andrew.
All right, we got Vinny Dantas here. As I talk over Gary. Sorry, Gary, you don't do that. Vinny Dantas. You saw Leo Gibson getting interviewed here earlier. He put up the 5th goal early. Did you feel like you had to match him?
I don't care. I just want to win.
All right, so you guys get up early as a team. You got a great lead early on. The first quarter goes about as well as it could. What changed in the second quarter for you?
We definitely got complacent. Saw how many goals we got right off the bat, and professionals shouldn't do that, and I apologize for the team.
All right, so I don't know if you can apologize when you score 5 goals. I don't think it's allowed. But let's talk about one of your teammates. We tried to grab him over here, and you guys have developed quite the connection. Jonathan Mello, 5 assists tonight. That's pretty hard to do as somebody that scored 5 goals, and he scored his own goal. Talk about what Mello means to this team right now.
Mello is on fire right now, and the team realized that, and all we want to do is boost him to keep going. He's having a tremendous season, and it's deserved. Anybody that watched the Blast knows it was coming. So props to him, and we'll keep it going.
All right, so you mentioned keep it going. You guys are 1 game back of Utica City now for the playoff, the chase for the Eastern Division Championship. You guys have won that pretty consistently, but at the end of the day, it really only matters that you get the playoff game here against Utica City. What are you looking for the rest of the regular season? What are you trying to work on?
We got to keep improving. Stuff like what happened today cannot happen when it matters most, so we just got to keep improving, keep working, getting the details right to try to win another championship.
All right, well, congratulations. 5 goals tonight, and our player of the game, Vinny Dantas. Congratulations, Vinny.
Thank you.
Nice job, Andrew, with Vinny Dantas and Leo Gibson on the field after the game. A 10-9 win for the Blast. As they get it done today, they get out to the big lead 6-1. The Blast leading 6-1 after the first quarter of play. Great response by the Kansas City Comets in quarter number 2 as they go on a run. They got the game to 8-7 at the half as Kansas City outscored the Blast 6-2 in that second quarter. And then it was a tight to the vest game in the second half. Vinny Dantas scored both goals for the Blast to give them enough breathing room. John Sosa and Ramon Palmer scored. Palmer's goal at the 7:42 mark of the fourth drew the Comets back within 1, but it wasn't enough as the Blast hold on. Final stats tonight, as Kansas City outshoots the Blast 36-22. Blast with 8 blocks though, and William Vanzella with 19 saves for the Blast this afternoon. That's the difference right there in the game as the Blast hold on and win it by the score of 10-9. Blast move to 12-6 on the year. Comets fall to 9-9 on the season. Comets still in good shape in second place in the Southeast Division. Blast continue to chase Utica City for first place in the East. That's going to do it here from Baltimore. Once again, our final score, Blast win it 10-9 over Kansas City. Come back on the 22nd of March, Orlando here at the CQ Arena to take on the Blast. I'm Paul Mittermeier for Andrew Primrose saying so long. You've been watching MASL Soccer on NBC Sports Washington.